Sorry about the technical glitches. YouTube is not liking us for some reason at the moment. Michael Torillo, Ramos Lynn here with the 2K test here for the Simulation Football League. Bruin on the run. Finding Garcia down the field, Ellington down the field. And it's a first down for the Kings.
Yeah, I really love how the wide receiver came back to the quarterback right there. Comes back to the quarterback, puts his hands up, I'm open, gets the catch and a first down.
Apologies again if we get names wrong or call out wrong numbers. We're working with like pre-official rosters for season 20 here. Hand off to Sanders, and he's going to be met in the hole by Rockefeller. Haven't really talked about Kanye Rockefeller, and safeties in general haven't really been getting all that love. It's a lot of linebackers and a lot of corners, but safety play is very important, and I think it's being heightened by the whole defense as a unit kind of working together better than an APF.
Yes, I do agree. When we've seen less passes down the field, the quarterback takes the check down, the quarterback scrambles for a first down.
Bruin into a tight window to Ochoa. First down, Jacksonville into the red zone.
There it is. So, good play right there by O.J. Bruin again. Throwing the ball middle of the field. And the hit just probably half a second late.
Ochoa showed the ball to Kanye Rockefeller, then ripped it away from him. 17 of 27 for 208 for Bruin. Bruin takes the check down to Ellington, and that goes for no gain.
Second down and 10. Good decision. I mean, there was nothing open down the field, and just took the check down. We'll see what they do here. It's going to be an offset I formation. You can run it here, make it a third and more manageable.
Linebackers playing well back, although there are three of them in the middle of the field. Bruin looking to the corner of the end zone, and he couldn't quite connect with Christopher Ochoa.
A good solid coverage down the field. We're going to take a look at it, turning back to the quarterback and just making the swat down. Great one-on-one coverage. Cannot blame Bruin too much for that. I mean, one-on-one, you normally take that. And just a good play by the defense.
Yep, Ernest McCray, senior, in coverage that time. 3rd and 10. This is actually a really huge play in the game. From just outside the 10-yard line. Bruin, blitz comes. He steps to the right to avoid it. He's going to run. He's inside the 10. He's inside the 5. O.J. Bruin almost had a rushing touchdown, but he does move the chains. 1st and goal to 2.
Yeah, great job by O.J. Bruin. And the linebacker had to go with a running back to cover him. You don't know if he's going to throw the ball at the last second. I mean, the corner just was fully committed to stopping the running back. And a great scramble by O.J. Bruin as he found the space.
Blanton in the chat, this is a new game. This is a demonstration of where the SFL could be going in season 21. This is a very highly modded version of ESPN NFL Football 2K4 as Sanders walks in and Jacksonville ties the game.
Great blocking up front by the offensive line. You see this touchdown. I mean, this is a great play. The fullback gets involved and just walking it in for a touchdown. And we have a tie ball game.
As Curtis says in the chat, a lot more customization options to come, including the blimp. We can change the blimp. Yes, we can. That will be probably an SFL or a team-specific blimp in the 100% finished version of this mod. 21-20, Jacksonville takes the lead. This is a really seesaw back and forth battle in this game, and pretty much everything we've wanted to see out of a demonstration.
Yes, absolutely. We've seen running quarterbacks. We've seen great rushing by the running backs, fullbacks, great passing, great defense. And we still have 5.5 minutes to go.
Still no idea who's going to come out on top in this one. Rocco McLovin with the return out near the 35-yard line.
We take a look at some updated numbers for Rob Hunt. 102 return yards on 3 attempts. Solid so far.
It's the 34 average return yards.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, the 34 average, which is really important because that means, that's where you're starting your drives after kickoffs. And, an average APF drive starts at, the 24, 23. And Indianapolis has started their drives near the 30 every time.
Yep.
Yes, Greg Soto, the sun did change. It is now later, so the sun is behind the stands, which is why the shadows on the field are longer into traffic and in and out of the hands of Rob Hunt. Young Vaught was in coverage. He has been a critical piece of this Jacksonville defense.
Wow. It was a good throw. I mean, he hit the receiver in the hands. He just couldn't hold on to it. A good hit provided by the defense, and it's now 2nd and 10.
Indianapolis now down by 1 with 5 minutes to go. I don't want them to completely abandon the run game because it's what's got them to this point, running the ball with Christian Pierce and Vito Veleno. Oh, look out. There's our first sack of the game. Colin Pierce with no one to throw to, and he gets blindsided by the defender.
It was a tiger stunt, so the outside guy goes inside, the inside guy goes outside. It's 2 against 1 against the tackle, and 1 tackle just cannot cover 2 people.
That was Tyquan Hale racing through on the right-hand side of that line. Third and 5. Into the flats. Turning around as Viper breaks a tackle. Can he break another one? He falls forward, and he's not going to get there. 4th down and 4.
Nothing open down the field again. Had to take the check down, and a good job by the wide receiver bubbling inside again, getting some extra yards. 4th and 4, you punt it here. You have all 3 timeouts. Still 4.5 minutes to go.
And your defense has played really well. I mean, you've forced 3 interceptions so far in the game. I don't think that Jacksonville is going to want to throw the ball very much up with 4 minutes to go, but Indianapolis, this is where you want to be, really. Even though if you're down 1 point, you'd be comfortable in this situation.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, and a good job by Boudet and the rest of the Jacksonville Kings special teams unit, getting some decent yards after the punt, and it's decent field position at the Jacksonville 34-yard line.
I saw some talk in the chat about presentation, and this is the game's generic presentation with some SFL logos tacked onto it. This is not anything, close to what the SFL can do in terms of presentation quality, and I trust Cam to create a fantastic presentation around this game, given the time to work on it. Nice pass over the middle, falling backwards. Joel Harleman makes the catch.
Yeah, great pass, great catch by Harleman. And again, with 4 minutes and change, I mean, I would like to see a run here perhaps. Now that you have it a 2nd and short, we'll see what happens.
And where that SFL logo was on that last graphic could potentially be a cyberface as Sanders picks up a 1st down, dragged down in midfield by Jones, or with the right permissions could be the face of the actual player behind O.J. Bruin.
Correct, exactly. Good opening right there by the offensive line, by the way. A huge avenue, and it's going to be a 1st and 10.
Open the defense up like a can of tomatoes. And allowed Sanders to break forward for a 1st down. Bruin again on the run. Nothing new for him. Over the middle to Ellington. That's the check down we love to see. 1st down, Jacksonville.
Great catch. And again, turning upfield, getting that 1st down. And it's loving it. Again, everything that you see on the fans can be customized with like their T-shirts and everything.
I read that Sector 6 promotion earlier. You could put your Sector 6 T-shirts. I know like Arizona has a bunch of cool promotional material. You could put those T-shirts on the fans. I will say, replacing those fan shirts, and some fans wear face paint, some fans have letters painted on their chest. You can change those, but it is a time-intensive process. What you have to do is you have to go into the emulator, and when those things that you want to replace are on screen, hit a button to dump those textures into a file, and then you can replace them from there. It's not like uniforms or stadium aspects that can be changed easily because they're in a standard file. Bruin takes off again inside the 30, slides down close to another first.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, protecting himself, sliding down, just a little bit shy of the first down. It's man coverage, and if you run man coverage against a mobile quarterback, that's exactly what's going to happen. Which plays to the game play part of it. Michael, it's okay. I'm going against a mobile quarterback, then I'm not going to run a lot of man coverage, right? Because the defensive backs are going to be turning their backs, and we're going to get gashed.
And linebackers are going to be super important, not only defending the pass and the run, but now you've got a third option to try and deal with on the defensive end. 2-minute warning here. Jacksonville on a nice drive, up 21-20, almost in field goal range. Actually, probably is in the edge of field goal range inside the 30. Yep. And looking to extend their lead here. And we talked about Indianapolis maybe playing the field position game. If they could get a quick 3-and-out, they could get the ball back and maybe cause their own drive down the field. But this has been a very clinical drive for Jacksonville.
Yes, it really has.
Just 1 yard to go. Probably going to give it to the running back, and he keeps his legs moving. He doesn't get there. Wow. Chad McDevitt came in at the last minute and just bowled Sean Sanders backwards, and he did not get it.
Wow. In decision time, they're going to kick the field goal, make it a 1-touchdown game. I don't disagree with that decision. I can go either way. You can go for it and basically seal the game right there, or you can kick it and make it a 4-point game instead.
Kick on the way from the left boot, and it is good from Jordan Bradshaw. 7 plays, 39 yards, took 2 minutes and 41 crucial seconds off the game clock, and it is a 4-point lead for Jacksonville. So now Indianapolis has to find the end zone in the next 150.
Plenty of time still. They have the timeouts to do it. See what happens.
And I want to go back to that play where Sanders was stopped short of the goal line, and I want to get your take on the momentum physics and all the things that was happening in that play, because Sanders looked like he had a first down. He was dragging a defender, but the second linebacker came in and changed his momentum at the end of the play and stopped him from getting that first down.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed with linebackers and with defensive players overall. You don't see those animations where, their running back gets carried into the first down or into the end zone. You really don't see that. You see the linebackers pushing the running back backwards and thus preventing a first down or a touchdown to happen.
And because this game has no animations like APF does, it's all down to attributes and physics-based momentum like we saw there. Indianapolis being patient, running the ball with Pierce, picking up 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, 1 minute and 33 seconds left, make it a short second down. Now they're hurrying it up a little bit, but it's not full-on no huddle.
Over 100 yards on the ground for Pierce. He's blown up in the backfield by Harper, but he escapes and picks up a first.
And you call a timeout. You get a first down, you call one of your timeouts. You still have 1 minute and 22 seconds left.
Still 2 timeouts, if I remember rightly, for Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, excuse me, just 1 timeout left. And that changes the game a little bit. Now they got to be a tad more aggressive here, I think, with only one timeout remaining. Pierce, time in the pocket, throws, completes, and almost getting away is Ryan Roosevelt, dragged down by a defender, but it is a first down for Indianapolis.
Yeah, and again, 1 minute and something. Now, because it was a long play, you do not have to hurry up too bad or call a timeout. You still have 60 seconds left, and you're in Jacksonville territory.
Pitch to Pierce, lowers the shoulder. No, excuse me, that's Villano. Him and Pierce have been used pretty consistently back to back. And again, if you didn't hear our earlier discussion, that is primarily due to the stamina in the game. Players run out of stamina, they have to be replaced, they take plays off. Pierce throws, intercepted, and that might just seal the ball game. Toby Kerr with the pick, and the Kings will wrap this one up.
Yeah, and Colin Pierce was very clean, for the most part. That was Alonzo Williams' second interception. For the most part, he was clean, and he just tried to, put the ball in a tight window, and he paid for it.
Again, apologies to Williams. Our rosters are not perfect that we are working off of here in the booth, and Jacksonville gets a clutch interception. It was a throw into double coverage there, and that maybe not a feather in the cap of Colin Pierce right at the end.
Yeah, for sure. And we just see 2 kneel downs. Jacksonville's already celebrating, and this is going to come to a close.
We are going to go back into situation mode, run some more testing. We'll do that in combination with a Q&A between Commissioner Cameron Irvine and the people on the team that developed this mod that are here tonight, Ramos and myself, along with Mike O'Neill and Chris Curtis. Also got a shout out Destro. He provided helpful insight as well in this process, as well as Harish Prasad, Jacob, the Charleston owner. So that's for the team that brought you this mod and the demonstration today that hopefully leads to a massive shift forward in the Simulation Football League. That's the end of the ball game. Jacksonville wins a tight one, 24-20, an exciting game that featured a little bit of everything, Ramos.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. Rushing quarterbacks, great, good run games by both teams, to be honest. And, the passing was effective at points. At some points, the defense made them pay. But yet again, it's something that coaches will have to dive into, change the playbooks and see what they like. And, offense and defense, right? Like we saw on defense, some bear, formations. Not a lot of teams run that in the SFL. And so once it's all done, it's, just like an All-Pro, it's just going to be much better than just a vanilla.
We're looking forward at some of the stats. 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. That's a little lopsided, but completion percentage is right about where you want it, 65 and 62%. On the rushing side, Sanders, 66 yards. Pierce had a great game, 109 yards, averaging almost 7 yards a carry.
Yes, really good. Here in the receiving, a lot of players got involved. The average, again, in the SFL, one too many times you see a couple of XA post routes get for 80 yards, and that blows up the yards per catch to like 30-some. And, yeah.
So we'll welcome in.
I think at this point, I want to bring in Cameron Irvine, Chris Curtis, Mike O'Neill, everybody else those are the people that are here that worked on the mod. And Cam, we're going to go through a couple of situation mode things, and as well as do a little bit of a Q&A session about what we saw tonight.
What was that score that we just had?
24-20.
24-20.
So we're going to set that situation, and we're going to go back to Indianapolis having the ball. They had 2 timeouts, I believe, when they got possession. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they had 2 timeouts. We were in the fourth quarter with a minute
30-ish.
Yeah, I'd say put a minute 40. Put 100 seconds on the clock. See what happens.
Minute 40. All right, so we got a minute 40 on the clock. It's first down. They had the ball at their
34.
own 34-yard line.
Yep.
All right, so
Well, you have to put home, or
it's away
what, is it away?
possession. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah, it's
just
away
who kicked
possession, I saw
first.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're testing a scenario right before the half
That's
and
true.
you go into the second half, you want to know who kicked first. Okay, so we're gonna put that exact situation back on the clock. Now, if you are
First off, can we look at these
Oh,
logos
yeah,
in the menus, please? That incredible. Like, you can't just mod on-field stuff. Go away, Dolphins. You can mod you can mod the menus. Like, it's insane the amount of customization that we have at our fingertips here.
Yeah, so
And keep in mind too, guys, the rosters themselves, they're the ones that we have ready to go SFL wise, as far as like what we were transitioning to, are just Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Obviously, there's going to be more to come on that, but we can't showcase those just yet.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have
the rosters were done just pretty much thrown together for the example.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so
eventually, of course, we'll have, every roster with every player in the game, and you could play this. And I think Cam mentioned this right at the top of the broadcast. I don't think people were in here. You could play this mod, right? There's first-person football in this game. You could be yourself in the sim and go in and do stuff. But I'll stop gushing for now and get back into the simulation.
yeah, so we're right. So we're right back where we were essentially. Now, if you're the coaches for Indianapolis, you say, "Well, I didn't love the play calling. I want to see what happens again when I run at a different time. What is it calling in these situations? How can I get it to call something different? How do I edit my scheme to work on this 2-minute offense and see what we're doing?" Right? You see a run there, just kind of like what we saw earlier. So you may go back in your into your game plan and make that adjustment if you feel like they're not, or they're being too passive in these types of situations.
Another run, and they are using multiple backs. So they're using the fullback and the running back here.
Yeah, we saw in that game as well. We saw I think it was like 16 attempts from the fullback Valeno in that game we just watched with Mike and Ramos on the call, and that was a pretty consistent 1-2 punch with the main running back. So it was fun to see the decision making. Oh, what a grab! Okay,
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
One-handed catch by Roosevelt, and a spin, and inside the 10 he goes.
So this time, we play out this scenario, right? We actually see Roosevelt catch a long pass. Now we have a totally different situation to test for coaches. Now you're immediately right into 1 minute to go, 2 timeouts, down 4. O'Neal, you might want to mute, or I'll mute you. But yeah, now we have a totally different situation to take a look at. Now, we do see players step out of bounds. In that case, the receiver did not. Now Indy is trying to be the last team to possess this football here. And again, because you're able to test scenario, you're able to go in and better ensure that in these moments the AI is doing what you want it to do. For example, this Indy playbook that we were using was way too run heavy. And instead of waiting an hour and a half to see this play out on a sim, or maybe 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours because you're just waiting for that moment that you're down by 6 in a 2-minute drill, now you can just immediately go to it. You'll see that right after we figure out what Indianapolis is going to do to finish this drive, we're just going to start this scenario over again, and you can test that on repeat.
I can already see people in the chat going, yeah, I'm going to use this a lot. Like Brady Clark and Christian Brown. Christian Brown has said it best. I'm going to come up for air twice a week. Otherwise, I'm going to be in the rabbit hole of simulation mode. And that's what we want, right? And it's going to give the SFL coaches time to get up to speed faster and make the Season 21 product look incredible.
Yeah, the being able to see how the game reacts to certain situations, what they call on a consistent basis, trying to pick out tendencies of what you think the other team is going to do as well may, situation where it's going to help that. It's going to cause a whole lot. There's going to be some give and take here. There's going to be some things as far as scouting goes that are going to be a little more difficult, admittedly. But at the same point, things like situation mode, that's where you can take and have a little bit more advantage at your back.
So Pierce on 4th down, not going to convert. That's the end of that situation. So if I wanted to go back to it, that's all I do. And look, we're right back where we were. 1:40 to go. Indianapolis has 2 timeouts. 1st down on the 34. Let's say we don't want to run that anymore, and we want to go to just the last play of the game. I'm the away team. I'm down by 4. I got a 4th down on the home team's 7-yard line, just kind of like what we saw. I'm in a goal-to-go situation, and I want to see, with the game on the line, what I'm going to call. And I may look at this, 5, 10, 15 times, and maybe I see a pattern. Maybe I see a formation that oh, well, okay, so we'll see. They're actually going to kick the field goal in this situation. And play.
Because you didn't change the time. There's still 1:40 to go.
That's right. So if instead we went to, let's see, this is on the fly here.
We got, 10 seconds?
Yeah, we got 10 seconds left in the game.
They'll likely decide to do something different because they won't have time for an outside kick and anything like that.
It'd be interesting if they kick. That would be just awful. No, they.
I was gonna say.
No. They
all
go,
my testing, I've never seen that.
That's right. They go, so 4th and goal, game on the line, down 4, need a touchdown. What are they going to do? Can't get in.
Nope.
All right, so that time
that's not a terrible call, right? You go to the slant and try to get yak yards and get into the end zone, and there are times where that exact same play will result in a touchdown.
Not only that, but they also had timeouts on the board too.
Right, that's true, Curtis. They have 2 timeouts left, although it is 4th and goal. So in this particular case, it wouldn't help them. But let's see what they do this time around. Pierce throws a pick. All right, so you go, well, that wasn't good. Now, of course, if you're looking at the play just after it happens, you want to know, what Pierce.
That's not a bad read at all.
You want to know what Pierce is looking at here. So you say as a coach, well, he's got him in the back of the end zone. Defender makes a great play on the ball, snipes it. Okay, I want to see if he runs the same play, so I'm going to run it again. 4th and goal, game on the line, and you can test. I mean, there's so many different in-game situations that are critical to coaching that I just cannot. Ramos can probably shed the most light on this as someone who's been coaching in the SFL for the longest time. But these situations are near impossible to replicate, when game planning, as that's picked again.
Yeah.
That's probably 6 too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly why coaching is something that takes hours upon hours upon hours. Like, you have people saying, man, I spend 9 hours every day for an entire week game planning for an opponent. Well, maybe you don't have to spend 9 hours every single day for 5 days, right? Maybe you can just chime in a couple hours and work on your 3rd down and longs, or work on your 4th and ones. And that's much, much better because you can get it over and over and over again.
A little more control over what you're going to be able to, what your team's going to call in that particular situation, which is nice. I'm going to go back to Mike O'Neill real quick. Mike, you had
you had something to say before your mic kind of cut out on you.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, yeah. So I was just going to say, I saw a couple of people touching on the scouting issue. So that's been an issue, obviously, since we first, started working on this project was, how is the scouting going to go because of the zoomed-in camera angle, which I completely agree. And there's no doubt, right? Like, it will make scouting a little bit harder. But what I will say is because of player motion, you're actually able to get a tell directly from what the defense is running, right? So if you see the defense, if the wide receiver goes in motion, you see the defense shade a man over, and he goes from one side of the field to the other, well, then that's man coverage, right? If he just cheats inside and passes it off to the linebacker and then to the outside linebacker on the other side, that's zone coverage. So you can kind of get a tell of what they're playing. The biggest difficulty will be seeing the safeties, which I understand, but even on the deep plays, you will be able to get a tell of where, the ball's going, the players they're trying to target, all of these things. So I don't think scouting will be too much any more difficult, really, especially with the addition of situation mode.
So there's also a thought as well with that, the scouting and talking about game planning, that the camera angle makes things more difficult, and to a degree it does. You can't see all 11 players on each side on the field, but that will be something that you will get used to. There's certain things about APF in scouting and in camera view.
Come on, Indy.
That were not fantastic either. And so it's not perfect, and that's understandable, but there's workarounds. There's things that you can do. You can assume that if you can't see the running back, but you see the fullback in the offset position, that it's probably going to be either a strong or a weak guy. This is just an example, but that's an option that way that you can kind of look for and see, kind of infer what's what to go that. So look at the playbook.
I've seen people talking about changing the camera angle. There are other camera angles in the game, but they're bad. Right?
It depends on opinion, but we've seen the camera angles. It's not ideal. I think maybe what you're looking for.
The only other one that is close to a broadcast camera is like a sideline view. Everything else is behind the quarterback or behind the defense, and you wouldn't watch a football game that way.
Well, the problem there is that with an AI versus AI game, we don't have anything other than the camera they give us to work
Indy,
with. We
come
don't
on.
have a way to change that camera angle. They give us what they give us.
So let's say Indy's sick and tired of watching their offense blow it inside 10 yards, right? They're going to go back and fix that, but they want to see how their defense stands up in the exact same situation. You flip the score, you flip the possession. The timeouts are irrelevant, but just like that, in about what was that, 15 seconds? Now, Indy can look at how they may be defending in this type of situation, up for, need a stop, right, and see if Jacksonville is able to handle this any better.
Not yet.
Yeah,
so they did get the first down.
Yeah, they got to stop. Yeah.
I did see a comment as well saying that motion happened very infrequently, and I do want to point out that is directly correlated with playbook. If you go more of a pass-heavy offense, it's not unlikely, and I think you guys can all agree with me, it's not unlikely to see motion at least 4 or 5 times on a drive.
No, you're completely
There's
right.
a score.
You're completely right. Like it all depends on playbook, and
I'm
probably the least informed person when it comes to this kind of thing on this panel, because I'm not a coach. I haven't spent a billion hours looking at how to put playbooks together and stuff, so not my cup of tea. But I have watched a couple hundred of these sims over the course of us playtesting this, and yeah, you do see motion a lot more in spread offenses rather than sort of running offenses.
All right, so we kind of took a look at. I think that pretty much wraps on situation. I want to put this game back in a position where we're able to look at some of the camera angles. That's 4th and goal. We don't want that. Let's just get this game playing. So, this is what we're working with here. We're going to get a side view.
This is the only other one that is close to broadcast camera.
The only problem is that I do believe, if I'm right, that we can't change
Oh, it didn't.
We don't.
It didn't.
It doesn't
take.
change the
Yeah, it doesn't change in AI versus
camera
AI.
when you're in AI versus AI.
No,
You can
it
yeah.
does.
It does. You have to. You have to change sides. You have to choose sides. Change the camera angle. Go. I believe. Go back.
No, it's fine. It just didn't take. That's all.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, at least you can preview these. Yeah.
So this is your Skycam look, and you're not able to see things over on the other side of the field. Depending upon what happens in the play, it may be a positive or a negative.
Okay, so I was wrong.
Yeah, but
apologies for that.
But that's a look at ISO, and then I believe we'll get the side to come in now. If we were building our own game,
Yes.
we wouldn't have any problems.
So that's the side view, and my main issue with the side view is that you can't see the near sideline.
Yeah, can't see it at all.
Now there's a blimp cam, which I'm going to avoid for this broadcast because it's if you remember on Monday Night Special when we did a quarter above the play, I think everyone was saying that they were getting nauseous, so I won't subject anybody to that.
You can definitely see the defense for the most part in this particular formation, which is this particular camera, which is good.
Yeah.
But like for example, you see the motion man down wide receiver going down to the bottom of the screen. He moves off screen now, and you're not going to be able to see.
You were able to see him run that route, which is good. And at the end of the day, just from the game you saw tonight between Indianapolis and Jacksonville, we're talking about 6 months of work in the making. But it doesn't mean that some things, like Curtis and O'Neill were saying in the chat, some things we can't change. Like this particular cameras we have available, but in terms of what we actually use, in terms of what actually is utilized during competition, that is all still, very much in the works. People say, "Oh, the logo's upside down." We can turn the logo right side up. In fact, if I knew exactly which file it was, I could do it now and just hit a button and get that logo right side up, and I wouldn't even have to leave the game. So it's it is a give and take type of situation with the camera, but that's just essentially what we're dealing with.
Other things.
Yes. I hope. Sorry about the YouTube stuff, everyone. That was weird. It was happening with our direct connection from our streaming program to the YouTube servers. Once we put in a middleman and sent it out that way, it was totally fine. So sorry about that. It wasn't a rat chewing on the wire or a cable internet situation. It was just more about how YouTube servers were digesting some things. Brady wants to see all the logos. Okay, I'll cycle through while you guys can take it however you want.
So I think the biggest thing of note here is the changes to the way the game plays, and I want to touch base with the rest of the panel on this because there are some very stark differences, and we saw it in the demonstration, not just in the demonstration but also the situation modes, how the clock is handled, how timeouts are handled, how play calling is handled in certain situations. We saw the clutch plays, the fourth down plays, decided to go for it. We saw more interceptions than we've seen in previous testing, and that was more of an anomaly.
Significantly, yeah.
But
and again, that's a playbook issue, and I think teams will figure out what passing routes are more effective than others.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with the aggressiveness of the play selection in the playbook as well. So if you want to be more conservative, you're going to do short to medium routes. And if you take shots downfield, you can expect that teams are going to catch on to that. So as coaching goes, so I am a huge fan of how this game plays, of how it plays more like actual football. The decisions are more football oriented, and I want to lean on Mike for more of that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Which Mike are you talking to?
Oh yeah, that's right. Either one.
Welcome to my world, Curtis.
Either one.
So
you grab it.
I want to chime in quickly, and then I'll let Mike O'Neill talk. There was one moment in the game which was my favorite play in the entire game. It was actually a failed third down conversion. It was a pass into the flat for, I believe, Jacksonville had the ball, and Sean Sanders took a pass out of the flat, almost got a first down, was dragging a defender towards the first down line, and the second linebacker came in, Chad McDevitt, and changed his momentum to a different direction, and that allowed Indianapolis to get a stop on third down and, potentially get a different outcome of the game, even though they didn't win. If that's an APF, the running back activates a animation, trucks that defender, and picks up the first down anyway. I think just the sort of, with no animations and no sliders and all attributes and the physics-based tackling and running and everything else, I think you're going to see a more realistic sim in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that also something important to note. So there's a couple of plays that I took note of. One of them being, and I think I commented on this in the chat, was there was a wide receiver. I think he was running a quick out route or something like that to the flat. He was close to the sideline, and he actually ended up having to take like a wide turn back in to turn around. And that is directly correlated with attributes. I wanted to make that clear and point that out, because this game, if you go back and look at it, so when this game was created, they actually factored in, what they did is they went by position and they took the combine results and they factored in the max speeds and attributes directly, and they directly correlated them to the height and the weight and the position based off of that year's combine results. So a 99 speed for a defensive tackle will look nothing like a 99 speed for a halfback. Does that make sense? So you're going to get a lot more versatility, and you're going to get a lot more, true playing football in realistic situations where you're not going to have, 280, 300-pound defensive tackles, chasing down running backs.
I see some people in the chat talking about this. So there are no rosters in this game outside of Indianapolis and Jacksonville. All the other rosters are the generic rosters from 2004 that are associated with their NFL teams. We only were focused on the two rosters for our demo. So the ratings on the stat screen doesn't matter. The rosters don't matter except these two teams.
O'Neill did port these over. As you can see, like Roosevelt, 90 catch, 90 run route, 92 speed, 92 agility. So they're ported over from from our server, but like Tarillo was saying, there are players that that did not or went untouched. You can see like for example the fullback Vito Valeno, and I think if I'm right, Jacksonville didn't even have a fullback.
And the other thing,
because they don't have one on the roster.
Right,
Yep.
Right.
Because rosters in this game are 52 players as opposed to whatever the ones 42? In APF. Yeah.
I think they're 53.
So 53-man rosters, which, another important thing for the SFL, we can now have 53-man rosters, including generics, but it opens up more spots for user players, and you saw that with the stamina thing, with the switching between the running back and the fullback. It gives more user players a chance to shine more often.
You have 18 new formations as well in the offensive playbooks, and that also includes the ability, I believe, looking at it, for formation subs. So
Correct.
You can get more opportunities for players that are 2 and 3 on the depth chart to, make an impact.
This is huge. Yeah. Curtis, I was going to chime in here. This is huge, too, because now with attributes and the way we have, I saw a lot of people in the chat talking about the difficulty we have it on, and we have those perfect zero sliders that Ramos touched on in the stream. But because of this, now you've got players who are situational players. If you look at the NFL, there's real life scenarios where if it's 3rd and long for a defense, and you're probably going to be running either a nickel or a dime set on defense, and you're probably not going to have your best run stopping defensive lineman in to rush the passer because they're not good at that, as good at that as they are at stuffing the run. So you can actually go in and put in all of your best pass rushers, and you can get, and that may be a third and fourth defensive end on the depth chart that you have because of these big rosters. And now those guys are actually meaning something and coming in and playing a pivotal role in a potential victory for your team.
We're there will be more. Terrell and I have talked about tutorials and different types of videos, kind of going through things. I wanted to note, because I didn't talk about it earlier in the game, that last game was on no wind. We have the ability to control wind as well, which we did not have in All Pro. So that's going to make games feel a little bit, give it a little bit more of an interesting feel. I know Ramos is very in tune with All Pro wind and trying to figure out, okay, well, is it at the back or is it at the, and we still don't know that, but we do know how much wind there is going to be, based on real-time weather, things like that. But I wanted to kind of put a bow on it there. We showed a lot of good stuff tonight. The sim was fun. I'm glad we got a close game and an interesting game that kind of showed off some things. Some things that we saw that were new to this channel, but also things that that we didn't see, that we've seen in some other tests and everything. And at the end of the day, everyone out there really knows it's just one sim. It's just one random sim thrown out there in the ether. We didn't know what we were going to get tonight. And we got a pretty good game. So I want to thank everyone for just hanging out and seeing some things that we've been working on. I appreciate all your feedback, especially in my DMs. It matters to me what you have to say about this, and to give your what you liked, what you didn't, maybe based on those that feedback. We can either address things that we didn't think we could change but are really going to try to change, or we can go ahead and let that is something that we can't change, and get a barometer for you in regards to how that makes you feel. So give us your positives and negatives and DMs. I asked for DMs just so that they don't get lost in all the chat. I'm sure there's been a ton of chatter tonight. Thank you all for the great viewership, and thanks to the crew here today who just kind of helped me showcase this for a little while. So I hope everyone has a happy new year. It was really great being back on the air. Super excited for season 20. Can't wait to see all of our teams back on the field again. Our rosters are done and ready for export. Our playbooks will be turned in on the 6th. And then I'll get to work getting all the teams ready to go for week 1. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I know Mike St. Green and I can't wait to start calling some games together. And that starts Thursday, January 12th with Alamo City and Baltimore. So appreciate all of you. Thanks very much. And we will talk soon. Have a happy new year. Great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you for the season in 11 days. Good night, everybody.